Democrats, unlike Paul Suit, still struggling to find a new party leader as a Wall Street Journal poll reveals more than 60% of voters have an unfavorable opinion of the party. This marks the lowest rating in 35 years. Stephen A. Smith calling on Democrats to get their act together.
The Democrats don't have a leader. You know, I see who's your leader? Who is it? Is it AOC? Is it Bernie Sanders? Is it Jasmine Crockett? Who is it? You know, we respect so many people on Capitol Hill. I'm certainly not here to cast aspersions upon individuals, but as a body, the Democratic Party just looks very, very bad right now because they look leaderless. They don't have a definitive voice that anybody can depend on.
Joining us now is American Frontier president and attorney Mehek Cooke. Mehek, to his point, are you surprised that no one has stepped up to lead the Dems in the months following November 5th? Because I don't know about you, I kind of thought by now at least somebody would say, hey, I'm going to stem the bleeding in the Democrat Party. But Mehek, doesn't look like anybody has.
Todd, they really haven't. And look, Democrats are committing political malpractice because they never listen to the American people. They didn't learn anything from 2016. They didn't learn anything from 2024. They've continued to double down on this progressive base, which is actually abandoning American principles and the American dream. When you embrace this extremism, anti-woke, pro-Hamas, pro-illegal immigration, the fact that they're standing up against ICE and law enforcement, that's when you know it's a losing strategy. And the one thing I saw is Democrats lost that everyday, everyman appeal. They abandoned the working class, the blue collar, the people that they used to care about. And when you start embracing woke politics, well, let me tell you, most people that are just trying to afford their bills, get out of a rental and afford a home, they don't care about your woke politics. They don't care about boys and girls sports. They just want to feed their families. Go back to the basics, go back to common sense. And that's what Stephen's talking about today. There is no leader because they don't know what their moral compass is, and they've abandoned families.
So how do Republicans keep the pressure on Democrats leading up to the midterms? Or, Mehek, do Republicans say, you guys on the Democrat Party are doing enough imploding on your own? We're just going to sit back and watch it burn.
Republicans cannot stop now. We have so much to accomplish under President Trump. The fact that we have not ensured that every single one of Trump's executive orders have been signed into law tells me that the Republican Party is still behind. If we want to deliver for the people, if we want to uphold our promises, if we need to cut fraud, waste, and abuse, which must happen, we have to continue to move forward. The fact that Democrats are imploding doesn't mean that Republicans are winning. It just means that we have more work to do to continue to steal that base from the Democrat Party, because we, Republican Party, are the party of common sense. We're the party that can deliver results for everyday people, but it starts with Congress, it starts with enacting laws, and it starts with ensuring that we're actually going to deliver for once. I love the fact that President Trump has deadlines, Todd. Every time President Trump puts a deadline out, Republicans are delivering, and that's what we need to start doing more of.
Yeah, D.C. is not used to deadlines. This is kind of shaking them to their core. From D.C. to Hollywood, Jay Leno criticizing modern late-night comedy for alienating audiences with partisan politics. Listen.
I like to think that people come to a comedy show to kind of get away from the things, you know, the pressures of life, wherever it might be. And I love political humor, don't get me wrong, but it's just what happens was people wind up cozying too much to one side or the other. Why shoot for just half an audience all the time? You know, why not try to get the whole? I mean, I like to bring people into the big picture. I don't understand why you would alienate one particular group.
I mean, Mehek, that is an absolutely perfect take from the guy who would know.
Look, forgive me for disagreeing with Leno, but forget unity, forget neutrality, and save the kumbaya for politicians. Look at Greg Gutfeld. He is dominating late night television by doing the exact opposite of what Jay Leno just did. Gutfeld is partisan, and it's working. For 21 straight months, he has been dominating late night because he's tapped into this massive audience that is so tired of the smug, left-leaning monologues from people like Colbert and Kimmel and so many others that Gutfeld mocks while the left continues to moralize and talk down to us. So when you see somebody like Gutfeld continuing to skewer the media, continue to call out woke politics. 3.1 million viewers are actually loving it because he's giving a voice to the Americans that have felt left behind. And I think my message to the left is if they stop talking down to the American people and start really listening, they may actually pick up viewers, because you don't have to be partisan today, but you have to be relevant. And that's where Gutfeld has been all along. The future for late night is not these late night skits or A-listers. It's just having a conversation with everyday Americans and resonating with us. And that's why Gutfeld's winning.
Mehek flipping to become an adversarial witness while on the stand. Mehek, impressive. I would just say this, and again, I mean no disrespect to Greg. I'm going to be on Gutfeld this Friday. Watch it, 10 p.m.
Perfect.
Eastern. The overall point I'm trying to make, though, is I think Gutfeld is a result of the left for years now becoming a mouthpiece for the Democrat Party. And what Greg does, to his credit, yes, obviously Greg is conservative, but what Greg does differently, he goes out there and attacks both sides. Whereas you saw on these leftist shows, they just never did, and they became mean about it. What Greg does, which is what you need to do in comedy, be funny. And that's why Greg's so successful. I still think Leno has a point for the past, maybe. I think you make an interesting point for the future. My adversarial witness and my friend, Mehek Cooke, American Frontier president and attorney. Thank you, Mehek.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.